Welcome to the Exhorter Podcast. We aim to stir up love and good works through bite-sized biblical discussion.
Destruction.
No, come on. We haven't done that in weeks.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we've been talking a lot of male-centered topics here, and I think that we're going to continue that one with another one. And Nate, I think you've got it. What?
M-A-L-E.
M-A-L-E? Yeah, M-A-L-E. Yeah, because we're men.
Yeah.
And so we're going to continue that a little bit, but women, don't run away. Don't be afraid of this one. I think there's the whole kind of purpose of this is to try to understand ourselves a little bit better as men, and then how we can interact with you and how you can support us and we can support you and all these things. So, okay,
great.
Nate, what do we got?
So I want you to imagine you're in the city of Ephesus in the 1st century. The gospel is spreading rapidly through the efforts of one particular man named Paul. And people are leaving their idol worship and they are becoming Christians. And a man named Demetrius, who just so happens to make idols for a living, gets all of the silversmiths together and says, "Hey guys, we're losing our livelihood to this guy Paul and his teachings about Jesus." And he starts a riot in the city to try and protect his livelihood, this worship of Diana, Artemis of the Ephesians and their idol worship. Demetrius starts a riot to protect it. So I guess my question for us here is, what would you start a riot to protect?
First, I want to say, that was a lovely story. I feel super engaged. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like that.
Did I hook you?
No, I'm hooked now.
All right. Well,
I forgot your question, though.
Thanks. Good. It was not for anything. What would you start a riot to protect?
My family.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Good answer.
Well, the Trailblazers have a new owner, and I'm getting serious Clay Bennett vibes. And if you're not from Seattle, then I'll tell you, Clay Bennett is the jerk who came in and bought the Sonics saying, "I'm not going to move the team," and then moved him to Oklahoma City. And we hate him forever. And he's a traitor and a jerk and a meanie. And so the new owner for the Trailblazers is like downsizing and firing a bunch of people. And also is like, "I promise I'm not going to move the team." And if he's going to move the team, I would riot to keep Portland Trailblazers in Portland.
Is that why you hate the Thunder so much?
Well, that and because Shea is
SGA.
He's ruining basketball.
Yeah. That guy.
Ruining.
Okay. Well, here's
Guys, I can't do basketball. Come on, man.
Here's we're talking about
I've seen you
males.
play. That's very true.
We're talking about being men, right? Basketball is manly. Okay. So here's the right reason why I asked that question. What would you cause a riot for? Because it might be an indicator of something that is an idol to you.
Yeah. Way to catch us on that one, buddy. I mean,
Oh, you didn't know that that's where I was going?
No, I didn't know what you.
Okay.
I guess maybe.
All right. So I want to share a little story with you guys about something that I think is an idol for me, and I think that other men struggle with this too. I think Jonah struggled with it. I'll talk about that in a little bit. So a few weeks ago, my wife came down with a cold. She was down for the count for a couple of weeks. And she wasn't able to do the things that she's normally able to do around the house, feeding the kids and me and doing the laundry and the dishes like she normally does. Am I being too...
No, it's your routine, isn't it?
Well, okay. Oh, you're reading my screen here.
I'm not.
To be quite honest, I'm embarrassed to say this, but I got frustrated. I actually got angry, and my wife picked up on that, and we had more than one deep conversation about this. And what stood out to me about this,
is that your euphemism for a fight? Deep conversation.
Oh, yeah. I guess it is. Yeah.
Okay, carry on.
Discussion.
We had a
Emotion-filled discussion.
An emotion-filled discussion. So we discussed this, and I was prompted to look inside and figure out why I was angry and why I was frustrated about this thing my wife had no control over, getting sick. And I realized it's because it messed with my routine. It threw off my expectations, and it pointed out the fact that I really didn't have the control that I thought I had. And I realized in that moment that I had made that sense of control my idol. That's what I wanted. I wanted things this certain way, and they weren't that certain way. And as a result of that, I became angry and frustrated with my wife.
Now the trick is to, like, Kyle and I
Yeah.
is it's like Hulk. The trick is to have no routine and no expectations.
Just don't have a routine, right?
You just have no expectations from day to day that anything's going to turn out the same way that you expect. I'm just one of you. But I mean, I think everyone's got something. So I see what you're cluing in on here is everyone's got something that messes with their expectations.
Yeah.
And that kind of will show your priorities and show your, what you cling to, kind of what you place a lot of dependence in.
Yeah. What you value.
Yeah.
And one of the things that stood out to me was the fact that I had a strong reaction to that clued me into, all right, Nate, you need to look deeper. What is the issue behind this? Kyle, what are some things that might get under your skin, make you angry?
I'm kind of curious how you define idolatry. What qualifies as an idol?
So in this case, I put what I wanted above what was needed for my wife. I need to serve my wife, take care of her, provide for her, do what is right by her. That's a God-commanded thing, to serve others. And I was not doing that because I didn't get what I wanted. I had made what I wanted more important than what God wanted, i.e., serving others, my wife. Therefore, what I wanted, control of the situation, was my idol.
So it's like put no other gods before me.
Yeah.
Well, Colossians chapter 3 and verse 5 says, therefore, put to death your members which are on the earth, fornication, uncleanness, passion, evil desire, and covetousness, which is idolatry. And so I find that to be pretty helpful, that covetousness, or other translations will say greed, and just simply equate that to idolatry, which is covetousness, which is idolatry, according to Paul. And so I find that to be pretty consistent with what you just said. It's when you desire something or are greedy for something that you think should be yours. Maybe that's a bit of a pride issue too. But when you allow that to become your central focus, when you desire or covet that, pretty much when it's not God, it's a problem.
Yeah. So one of the things I think men struggle with is we want to have a sense of control. And when we don't get that control, it causes us to make poor choices. One of the biblical figures that represents this idea, I think, is Jonah. God wanted Jonah to go preach to Nineveh. Jonah didn't want to preach to Nineveh. He runs away, swallowed by a fish, spits him up. He goes and he eventually preaches to Nineveh as God told him to do, but ultimately he throws a fit because he doesn't get what he wants initially, which is he didn't want to go preach to Nineveh. And so Jonah put his desire for control of the situation above what God wanted, and he runs off. And I think it's good for us to realize about ourselves. We want to have control over situations, but we don't always have control over the situation, and that doesn't give us permission to act out in whatever ways we want to.
No, I think I do this a lot with I do this under the veil of good things.
Yeah.
Such as like work as a deacon. I get and I think that preachers do this a lot too, and it's kind of like a preacher thing where it's you're putting the efforts and you're kind of valuing the efforts for the whole of more people, like a whole congregation, over the family and that kind of dynamic.
Oh, right.
And I think that I can do this. Sometimes I get caught up in the need for something to go right, or even like, hey, I like to go do coffee with brethren, and I like to
Yeah.
do things with brethren. It's a benefit for them and myself. And I feel like when I can't do that because maybe my wife is working late, or I mean,
Yeah.
like she's doing like another portion of the providing here.
Yeah.
But if it cuts into some of those routines and those things that I want to do because I believe that there's value in that.
Uh-huh.
I justify it because of its scriptural value or relational
Sure.
value to
Yeah.
members and stuff. And I think it does. If it has the same outcome, can still be an idol.
Yeah.
Even that's the hard one too. It's hard when the idol is
A good thing.
it's a good thing,
Mhm.
in context,
You could take that to the next level because, like providing for your family, which we're going to talk about
Yeah.
here, is a good thing, but can you put too much emphasis on work?
No, I've done that in the past too, where I had a job I really liked and I really enjoyed going. And it was easy to spend 12 hours there when I was technically only salaried to pay, 8. But I would justify it in certain ways. But I just
Yeah.
it was enjoyable work.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it didn't provide the best. It wasn't everything. It was more something I enjoyed, and I kind of balanced it, And I think making that shift was ultimately positive for my relationship with my wife and my family, and putting them first and the needs of the family first over something that I really enjoyed,
Mhm.
like a job. And I think that can be that can definitely be a piece for men. Either what we get from it, either the value of the actual work that we enjoy, or the value of the money that
The
we
monetary
get from
gain.
the monetary
Yeah.
gain. I think that's a huge one for us men.
Yeah. Let's go there.
Let's go there.
Yeah. So
I felt that before.
another idol I think us men have or can have is our ability to provide. I looked up some statistics on this, and unemployment and financial struggle lower self-esteem and trigger depression in men in a way that simply doesn't happen for women. For women, financial hardship is painful. For men, it attacks identity. These are from, I believe it's the University of Wisconsin did some studies on this, basically showing that financial strain has an effect on men different or more prominently than it has on women. It goes to our ability to provide. 1 Timothy 5 and verse 8 talks about the importance of providing for our family. Let me read that. But if anyone does not provide for his relatives, and especially for members of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. We're commanded in Scripture to provide for our families. This is an important thing. There was a time in my married life where I was not providing to the degree that I wanted to, and it gave me an inferiority complex. I would come to church and I would avoid talking to certain people, certain other men, because I felt as though I were inferior to those men. And I withdrew from those conversations. And there's a lot of good that comes from talking with other, what you might call successful or productive men. There's a Proverbs 27:17 effect. Iron sharpens iron. There's that effect that happens when we're with each other. And I was withdrawing from that and the benefits that could be to myself and to my family. Why do you think I was withdrawing from that?
It was it's kind of it's hard to look yourself in the mirror at that point. It's kind of like all you see is the greener grass over the fence. All
Yeah.
you see is your own insecurities and your own failures. I get that.
And it wasn't that I wasn't able to provide for my family.
Yeah.
We had, plenty of food on the table, clothes on our backs, a roof over our head, like all of the things that someone would look at and say, that is that person providing? The answer is yes. But it was my expectation in my head of what provision should look like. And it should look like a lot more than that in my mind. And so I idolized my ability to provide. And because I wasn't reaching what I wanted it to be, I became this self-pity person. thinking, oh, woe is me, look how terrible I am, when the truth was, no, that wasn't the case. I was providing what was needed for my family.
I have the feeling that this is more common than it is not common. I mean, if you take like 10 to 20 men, not all of them are finance people, right? Not all of them
Yeah.
have master's degree and amazing, and so I feel like this is probably, then again, if you don't have this issue and you are very comfortable in your own shoes and congratulations. I want to be more like you, because
Yeah.
I feel like this is probably pretty common. Like I have that sense. I don't have a degree.
Yeah.
And so I always feel like I have a cap. And it's like, well, do I spend money, time, and effort away from my family to go to get something to bolster it in the future? Is anything valuable in the world of digital design? It's not. And so I always have that kind of sense of not FOMO, but like of insecurities, like you said. No, I get this one. I never shunned you for it, but I'm just like,
well,
no,
thank you.
No. I mean, I don't know that I've recognized it, what its reaction is on my life, though. Like you've identified that, but I haven't been aware of if I'm reacting to that in a certain way or not. But maybe I have.
I think it's a good thing for us to know about ourselves, that we have an innate need to want to provide. And if we're not providing to the degree that we want, that can really affect our self-esteem.
But I would say I have always felt that Kyle had the best job anyways.
Which is preaching?
Yeah. I mean, I if I'm going to be envious of something, I think it would be like just the idea of, sitting around not doing anything all day.
Well, like David jealous of the birds that nest in the courts of the temple.
Yeah,
so.
No, I think I've said this before. Your guys' ability to preach and in Kyle's role here, you should have a good sense of confidence about that and appreciation for that. Because I don't know if other people feel that way, but I definitely feel like that's the most meaningful job you can do. And if you can do it and provide for your family, then you got the best situation. But hopefully you guys feel that way. Hopefully, Kyle, you feel that way, that you're happy about your work and,
Sure. No, you put me on the spot here, of course.
But I mean, yeah, hopefully you feel that way. But I can understand, like, I mean, we've all felt that same way, right? That Nate's talking about.
I wouldn't say I'm proud.
Are you satisfied?
I'm very satisfied.
There you go.
With my job.
There we go. Yeah.
Prideful satisfaction.
So I think there's a flip side to that coin, right? I talked about idolizing my ability to provide and not living up to that. But I think the flip side to that is earning more and then having certain financial goals and being laser focused on those to the exclusion of serving others the way that I ought to. So for instance, and if my wife listens to this, she's going to say, aha! Whenever I want to buy something, even if it's expensive, I always find a way to make it happen. And then when my wife wants to buy something, it's always this big, long conversation about why it's really difficult for us to find the money to do that thing that she wants to do. Why? It's because I'm being selfish. I am idolizing what I want more so than what she wants. And what she wants is just as important, or sometimes more important than what I want. And so in that way, I struggle on the opposite side with finances, having the ability to get something and yet holding back from my wife having to get that thing or wanting to get that thing, being able to.
Oh, this is just a love letter to your wife here. This is a great episode.
Well, these are the easiest ones.
Yeah,
you guys ever struggle with that? Like your spouse or your kids want something that's expensive and it gets in the way of what you want, and then you have to make that decision.
No, I'm just the opposite. I never get anything I want.
I'm in the same boat.
Okay, well, this truly is a short episode. Never mind. I'm a terrible person.
No.
Please forgive me.
I'm just blaming. No, the feeling is still there. I feel resentful that way.
Yeah.
Even though the reality is I probably don't get those things. I mean, I still feel resentful about it.
Yeah, I've wanted a cheap, junky, barely running Jeep for the last 20 years, and still feel like, I could do the math. Well, Jessica got this and she got this and we bought her this and we paid for this. And that was her idea to do this vacation. And like, when do I get my thing that I want? When do I get my old junky Jeep?
Yeah.
It's not even that expensive. I start justifying it and rationalizing it. So even though I don't have it, I think that's the point of an idol, is it doesn't necessarily have to be something you have. It's just something that I want. And I find myself becoming bitter about it. And I don't even have one.
It's a distraction to what's important.
Yeah. So I think that's a danger, and we should, I think we should be aware of that.
Well, John, what was your answer to the question at the very beginning about what would you riot for?
I said family, and
Can that be an idol?
I can. Yeah, it can be. I think that just like what I mentioned earlier, it's one that's generally excusable because of a positive sense about it. It's a good example.
Matthew chapter 10.
But how do you think it is?
Matthew chapter 10 and verse 37. He who loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he who loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. He who does not take his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. He who finds his life will lose it. He who loses his life for my sake will find it. And I know sometimes I've seen it. People can get caught up in family vacations and trips, and the point where it's like, I haven't seen that family in a long time at church. And what's family time? It's, weekends are family time. And we just, can family become an idol?
100%.
Can it be something where you can get so caught up in your family that you really are oblivious to others around you in your church and your community that maybe have needs, but you're just so caught up in family and in the goings on inside your family? And the answer isn't to turn against your family but so that's one that John brought up at the very beginning that I thought, sure.
Yep.
And that's funny because that's the difference between values and attitudes. Sometimes what we value or we say we value, we don't show with our attitude. We don't show with our actions. So I mentioned it was my family, but yet I sacrifice sometimes time with my family to do things for something else. So that's the thing about it not matching up. We can say we value X, Y, Z, but it's not always done through our actions. And so that's interesting.
Yeah.
Very self-reflective this episode. Way to go, buddy.
Good. Well, that's the point.
That's the point of this.
And we all made a choice to go see a movie this weekend and bring our kids, and I think we learned a valuable lesson.
Yeah, it's
not worth
sacrifice my family.
Okay, last point here. Reputation is what other people think of us, and this is something that can become an idol. We can put this ahead of what is right. And I'll tell you 2 ways in which I've done that. I like to laugh. I like jokes. And sometimes I like jokes that are a little bit off color. You gentlemen know that. In Ephesians 5, chapter 4, talks about not making bad jokes. I'll be honest. Sometimes I've made those because I get the laugh. I get the approval from others. And I know that's not the right thing in that situation. And so that's one area where I think I've made my reputation or my getting approved by others an idol. And the same thing, it's the same idea with sharing the gospel. I'll tell you what I mean. Sometimes I don't speak up because of the fear of being labeled as that weird Christian guy. And again, I am more concerned about what others think of me than I am about doing the right thing. Now, I don't want you to think this is me all the time. This is sometimes these things happen. I'm sharing these things because it's easy to put our reputation, what I mean by that is what others think of us, above what is right, because doing the right thing oftentimes is more difficult than doing the easy thing.
Yeah, I feel that, but for a different angle, because I think I fall into the trap of wanting myself and my family to feel buttoned up a lot more than maybe we do. And the language that we use and how we talk to each other and how we interact with things. I want to put a good foot forward. And I think that that's actually probably how a lot of other people maybe fall into their reputation being an idol, because they are worried that their reputation might be sullied by things. And I think that can go against the compassion and the understanding and the value of, not being too hard on your kids and teaching them and, through love and not through being so worried that other people, what other people say or think and stuff and shaming them, for something. My kids are generally, well put together, but we all feel that a little bit, right? We all
Sure.
kind of want to be
Yeah.
protective of that. Now, I do think that is me being protective of them and their character
Sure.
and my character. So I do think that it can still become an idol, even though I think it's a positive thing. Like there's lots of positive things that can be idols,
You take them too far and they
Take them
can't.
too far and you value them over other things like compassion.
John 12:43, for they love the glory that comes from man more than the glory that comes from God. The Pharisees did a lot of good things, right? But they put some things ahead of God's things, and that was not right.
And their name will forever be associated in a negative fashion.
So the point of this episode, short and sweet, is to identify what are some of the idols that we make in our lives. Control over situations. Do we make our ability to provide an idol? Do we make our reputation, what other people think of us, an idol? Do we put that before or above what is right? And so I would encourage you all to think about what are the things in your life that you have made more important than what is doing or than doing what is right.
Well, thanks, Nate, for this topic. This is really great, and I'm glad. I'm really enjoying this series. I like it because it's very introspective. I'm always, I want to be challenged. I think we want to be challenged. We always want to be better. We always want to be better at what we're doing, and I think this is a good one to hold up a mirror and kind of see about our lives what might be idols to us. What are we placing before God? What are we placing before other priorities in our list, in our roles as men? Where are we letting, like last week's, the pride, the arrogance kind of get ahead of us? And I think it's good to be ever mindful of that. And this isn't just, a manly thing. This is something we all do, everyone does. And so I just think that we see it more because it's from our perspective. So I want to thank you again, Nate and Kyle, for this episode. Thank you for listening and following us through this podcast. If you enjoyed it, you found any value in it, we would love for you to share it. And if you didn't, we would love for you to share that too and just give us some feedback. Let us know what you thought about it and maybe extend the conversation offline or online. So we thank you and we'll see you next time.
We need more followers. We need more listeners.
Do we?
Our value is derived from
Oh.
getting listens and
Oh.
views. So we
Yeah.
need you to do this.
If
I
that was
am-
the case, we should have stopped this.
I'm proud of what we've done. I think it's fine.
We're
We're great. We
we're
have the greatest
season 4.
podcast.
We're
It's-
season 4
It's the best podcast
ever.
People say it's number 57 on the list. It's really number 1, and they're stupid.
Yeah, we're the fastest rising religious podcast in California.
Yeah.
Are we really?
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
We
Fastest.
I just said it.
You
Fastest
just said
rising.
it. That's how marketing works, but you
Oh.
just say things.
just
into
say things.
existence. If you listen
That
to
was a
one
stiff joke.
podcast, we know it's still the Excel still more. But if you listen to a 2 podcasts,
Yeah.
thank you for
Oh,
listening.
man.
Maybe we'll bring some women on another time. I don't want to say that because I don't know that I want to. I won't.
Maybe edit that part out.
We'll go ahead and do some female-centered topics later on, and we'll tell you what's wrong with you as well. Don't worry.
And next week,
Man, can you use any of this?
I wish that we could.
No. Okay. Do you have any? Are your eyes open enough? Are you gonna make it through?
This is rough.
It's a rough
Um,
day. It's a rough day.
I don't remember a little bit of the middle of that episode. I am really sorry.
I saw you.
I tried so hard.
you're
I
going-
tried so hard.
You're good, Kyle.
I thought you
You're
were.
good.
I thought you were just giving me faces, like your eyes were rolling. Like I thought.
No.
I thought, wow, no one's connecting with what I'm saying right here, and he's rolling his eyes back at his
It's like
head.
with the combination of the temperature and the
You have the fan only on you.
Poor Kyle. You'll make it, brother. You'll
I know.
make it.
Well, Nate.
Sundays are rough,
I'll-
but I get that
I
it
got
works
this.
best for you guys.
No, I got this. Well,
Because it's one of those things like I was reading a book about ultra marathons and this guy, he's one of the best ultras runners ever, and he was helping his buddy. He paced him the last like 40 miles of this 100-mile race, and the guy was in the lead, and they were like within 20 yards of the finish line. He's like, "Hey, buddy, you won it. You won the Hard Rock 100," and then he just collapsed right there. Like mentally, once he was kind of out of it, but once he thought like, "Oh, I won," it's like his body was only going on because, but like once his mental side knew like, "Oh, the race is over," his body's like, "We're done." And he like helped him up, and his buddy got disqualified because he helped him across the finish line.
Ugh.
And so he's like, and he's like, that stuck with me for the rest, for the rest of my life, that I cost him that race. And I'm kind of that way on Sundays. Like once the sermon is done,
Oh yeah.
my body is just like, okay,
I get it.
we're done for the day.
Yep.
And so I got to get myself more psyched up, and maybe a bunch of Red Bull for
That's ironic.
our next recording session.
That's ironic that you would say that.
Yeah.
I collapse mid sermon, and he does it after
Oh,
sermon.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
funny.